tell me 3 things to make the housing affordability in Canada even worse. What happened with Trudeau and Poilievre or whatever? I saw a clip really quick about, Trudeau saying some shit about how Poilievre's always, fear-mongering or something like that, and then he's like, "That's not Canadian," and I didn't know what it was about. I
wonder if this
saw
is
it
going
only
to work.
last
It's
night.
so insane, but it just might work. I'll give you a little bit of feedback of a conversation I had where it was kind of like the person was buying into the stupid argument that I think Trudeau was making, but basically it's just one of the political debates that's going on. CBC reporter was talking to Trudeau and saying, "Hey, we have a lot of Canadians that are struggling to make payments, this and that, whatever. And your opponent, Pierre Poilievre, seems to be stoking anger and fear." And Trudeau obviously played into it, responded that, I'm trying to fix the problem. He's making it worse by making Canadians angry and creating division. And then, somebody asked Poilievre his thoughts, and he said...
Is it Poilievre or...
whatever.
I don't even know.
I don't speak French. And he said, "Look, it's not about fear. It's about people not being able to pay their bills."
Yeah.
It's just common sense. So I left this kind of seeing both sides of the debate, and I thought to myself, well, it's pretty clear that they've had 8 years to fix the problem. They haven't fixed it. People are pissed off.
Yeah, they made it worse.
But I wonder how many people are actually going to be mad enough to change their vote or to actually make a change in the system. And I don't know if enough Canadians will actually be mad enough.
Based on
because
what?
they'll buy Trudeau's spin on it.
So you said you had a conversation with somebody about this?
Yeah, just somebody close to me, young guy, educated, has the inklings of wanting to get out of the rat race and into the next phase. And we kind of got into a political
and he's on Trudeau's side
discussion. He's in the middle. So he likes some things on the. I don't want to put a face to the.
That's fine.
Yeah, I want to. Sorry, I don't want to put a face to the political ideology. It's an ideology that the face represents, but the ideology right now.
What was he on side with in terms of Trudeau?
Well, he looks at the right side, let's call it conservative or Republican, as hateful. Right, and the left side and the liberal side as the good guys, right? Which is the way it's painted.
Yeah.
And that's what Trudeau was playing off of is, we're the good guys. We're the good guys. And as I'm having this discussion with him, he's a young guy trying to make his way.
How old is he?
Early 20s, 26, 27, something like that, right? Making decent money, but can't, he's like, I'm renting this crappy apartment, blah, blah, blah. And I said to myself, I'm like, man, you're blinded. The reason you can't afford a house is because of what's happening behind the scenes, and they're blinding you
because
with
of the good guys.
Well, they're blinding you with the fact that they're the good guys.
Yeah.
Not only are they the good guys, but they paint the other side as the bad guys. When really, if you actually think about what you want, affordable housing, safe streets, you want to walk downtown and feel good about your community. You want, immigration is great, but you want it to be controlled, and you want it to be thoughtful, and you want it to be in conjunction with other social policies, like we better grow our healthcare system, we better grow our housing at the same time immigration's coming in. So all those things that you actually want, if you think about it, are being destroyed by the very party that you're continuously voting for because you're caught up in the emotional side that the media is painting.
Yeah.
And that's why I saw this debate, and we kind of talk about, what am I going to do about it? But I left thinking, oh my God, it's so clear, but I don't think enough people will be mad enough. I think they'll buy the lie and continue to perpetuate the same nonsense that's been going on for 8 years.
Yeah, it's crazy. I wonder if you were to flip the argument and ask him, okay, what don't you want? You know?
I'll try that next time.
Right? I wonder how that would go to maybe not what don't you want, but how do you make the problem worse? So is his main gripe the housing affordability and everything? I would imagine you're a realtor.
It's
he's talking
definitely
about
one of them.
a crappy apartment.
Yeah, it then shifted into he thinks that the liberal side is the social safety net side, healthcare for everybody, and he doesn't believe in criminalization of drug use.
Yeah.
And we went down that rabbit hole, and I said, listen, I understand. I was in a social science. I went to university for criminology, which is social sciences. That was indoctrination. I remember taking those courses, and they were talking about decriminalizing marijuana and other drugs. It was 6, 7, 8, 9 years ago, so it wasn't really a thing yet. But I bought into it. I say, yeah, why should somebody be in jail for weed? But now that you see the results of decriminalization of drugs, it's not about the weed. It's about making it, like, you don't want that stuff mainstream because it's too accessible. Mm-hmm. You'll have too many more degenerates. You'll have too many people that get caught up and gatewayed into other drugs. So it's not that you're going to stop the drug trade.
Oh boy, you just opened a can of worms there. Yeah. That fucking gateway argument.
Yeah, but it's not. It's percentages.
I don't give a fuck. I agree. Too.
Yeah, let's say.
I just know a lot of people don't fucking agree with that. But yeah, it is what it is.
It's a very small percentage, right? 2% of people might go from weed to opioids and fentanyl. But 2% of 40 million people, now you got another couple thousand homeless people on the streets. Now you got an
epidemic on your hands.
Yeah, in every city. Yeah. And that's why we've got, kind of zombies walking around our downtown. Yeah. It started with decriminalization.
Yeah.
Now, but I just remember buying into that argument because I didn't think of the consequences of said argument, just like when you decriminalize theft under $1,000. And if you get caught stealing anything up to $950, whatever it is that's going on in like California or something, what do you think's going to happen?
Yeah.
You go steal a bunch of stuff, you get caught, they book you, you get right back on the streets. Hey, that wasn't so bad. I'm going to go take my chances again.
Yeah.
You literally can't hold them.
Yeah.
So it's kind of insane. But
that's where I was going with this. Hey, ask him. Let's use the housing market as an example. How do you make housing even worse in our country? What are the steps to do?
That would be a good question.
So what are the steps? So go. Tell me 3 things to make the housing affordability in Canada even worse.
You want me to answer?
Yeah, go answer.
Bring in too many people too fast.
Okay.
Put significant red tape and taxation on new construction.
Okay.
And increase red tape with green energy targets and zoning issues and bureaucratic backlogs.
Big government.
And bigger government, more people in the way.
Yeah.
That is your perfect storm. Oh, also raise interest rates 500x in a year.
So doesn't matter. 3, 4, 5 things.
There's
doesn't
a bunch
matter.
of them.
So all of those things that you just mentioned are what our liberal government is doing. So if that guy's upset about his shitty apartment and the housing affordability in the real estate market, reverse engineer how to make it worse, right? How to reverse engineer how to make the problem worse and exacerbate it. And every single thing that you just mentioned is a result of our government that's currently in place.
Here's one thing I think we both agree on. That's a purely logical argument. Anybody would make it. I think if you're logically thinking, you would be like, yeah, my vote is clearly X. The problem is emotions are more powerful than logic.
For sure.
So
that's why I feel so obviously that's a strategy of inversion, right? When you're in an argument or you're trying to think of something logically, invert the issue.
Oh, right? It's a great way to do it.
So that's what I've found to help work with people that are completely illogical is invert the issue, because then it starts. Then you start to see it a little bit more clear, right? You start seeing, okay, well, if those things would actually make the problem worse, well, then where's my argument?
Yeah,
I don't have one anymore.
So I agree, but when it comes time to vote, one side is not going to deal in logic; they're going to deal in emotion. The other side is going to deal in logic. Well, if you want X, Y, and Z to be fixed, vote for us. We're going to do X, Y, and Z. This is going to fix the housing crisis, whatever. The other side is going to paint. They're not going to say what. They don't even say what they're going to do. They just kind of talk in circles, but they arouse emotions.
Yeah.
And they paint the picture of we're Robin Hood, stealing from the rich and giving to the poor, and providing social services for everybody, and giving you dental care and handouts.
Yeah.
And they're evil, and they're corporate greedy, whatever. So the argument when it comes time to vote is no longer logical. It's emotional. And that's why I don't know if we're going to get the votes to actually change anything.
I guess a big argument as well is, okay, fine. Like I love all the policies and the talking points of, certain people and certain parties and all that stuff. But like, will it actually work? Will it actually change? Like, for example, Polyev becomes our prime minister. Like, is he actually going to be able to do anything?
Good question.
Does he have the credibility behind him because he's a lifer politician? What has he actually done for me to believe that he's capable of inflicting change in the country? Like, seriously, what has he actually done? That's why I have a hard time with these politicians that have never done fuck all in the real world. They have no credibility. They've done nothing. Okay, listen. The country is a business. It needs to run like a business. And what's at the helm of the most important aspect of the business? It's monetary policy. It's finances, financial responsibility. You have to run it a very specific way. You have to run it like a business. That's why I like. Again, I don't know all the framework that Vivek in the States is running on. You know what I'm talking about? That Republican.
Yep.
But the fucking guy was a successful businessman in the U.S.
It's a nice starting point.
That's a good fucking argument for him to be a successful commander-in-chief, which is essentially the CEO of a country. That's a compelling argument. I don't know that the compelling argument is, this is what I'm going to do and planning to do, but I've never really done anything that you could, hang your hat on in my past. I've just been a politician.
Very good point.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I honestly don't know. But who's the lesser of both evils?
Yeah.
For sure, him.
Yeah,
We've already seen what Trudeau's capable of, and it's nothing.
Yeah.
If anything, we've regressed as a country under his policies and under his control.
We know,
and I say that literally.
We know that if depending on your goals in life, the way the country's been run the last 8 years has been a disaster. We don't know the other side, but I do agree with you. There's no guarantee that, because when the bullets are, you can talk all the smack you want, but when you step in the ring against Mike Tyson or whatever, and the bullets are flying, then we'll see if you're actually up to the task. But right now, you're just all talk, and like you said, you have no pedigree other than politics, and we see where that usually ends up.
Yeah, what have you done? You haven't actually. All you're doing currently is just talking about what you can do and what you want to do.
Yeah,
track records are important. Mm-hmm. Experience is important, right? Clout is important. So we'll see. That's it.